Jackson Radio Show.
Welcome back, everybody. Kevin Jackson here, talking about identity theft today on the Kevin Jackson Show. KJRadio.com, on demand 24/7 if you want to get the program, and of course you do. And you want to share it with your friends and your family, and also with those leftists, those wretched leftists. I hope you will share our program. And if you want, you can even call the show. In fact, you know what? Maybe we should do this now. A lady called the show, and she said to me that I'd gotten it wrong. Do you have that clip? Let's play her. Yeah, she says I got it wrong. So I want to see what she said.
Hi. I heard today you firmly and said that if somebody disagreed with you, well, you didn't care what they think. And I'm afraid I agree with you on this case. In this case, that if you don't agree with me, I guess I don't care what you think, at least on this one issue, which I've given a lot more thought than I ever had up till now, and have come to the obvious conclusion that it's males or men's obvious responsibility to protect women from unwanted pregnancies. And certainly not to, if a woman becomes pregnant, to deny her constitutional rights to choose and be forced through law or guilt to have not to have an abortion when she wants to end an unwanted pregnancy. And I've further thought that what are these conservative men, you and all the rest, why are you on this anti-choice thing? And you know pro-life is just a synonym for that, trying to hide what it really is. Why are you, of all people, on to absolving men of responsibility that is so obviously theirs? I agree with you that a boy's first, let's say, objective in life is to become a man. And when you become a man, you assume responsibility, right? And this ought to be the top of the list. And yet you all of you conservative speakers on radio belong to the same church or the same religion or the same club or something, that you all say the same thing. You imply that women are slutty and call them murderers if they simply choose their own destiny in life. Whether they make a mistake is up to them. They will pay the price. The men that I knew, and I know I'm in a different era than you, but all the men that were attracted to me and vice versa, they automatically assumed their responsibility for protecting me from unwanted pregnancies if we had sex. And all of a sudden now it's the conservative men who are absolving men of all ages from being responsible. We don't have any immaculate conceptions here. It takes a man to make a woman pregnant. It's obvious that it's his responsibility. I can't believe that you guys don't know this or have taken this. If a church has given you this idea that Jesus or God demands that women have babies whether they want them or not, I just can't believe it. And yet it sounds that way. So I know you won't pay much attention to this, but I just thought I ought to give you my opinion. Okay, Kevin, I still look forward to listening to you. Over and out.
All right, everybody. So a lot to cover there, and I love this. I love that, number one, we have a young lady who wanted to give the show a call, 844-551-8255, and she voiced her opinion. And she said this: I've given this more thought than I ever have. I love that, because maybe I inspired her to do that. See, that's what my role is as a host of this show, is to give you some inspiration, some reason to think. And her contention is, it is men's, and she says, this is definitive. It is men's obvious responsibility to protect women from unwanted pregnancies. Now, I'm not going to guess at the age of this young lady, but she's from a different era. She admits that. And I don't believe things have changed with conservative men and what we want to do to, quote, protect women. See, here's the thing. Women are not forced into a relationship with men. Women have the freedom of choice. She seems to be a pro-choice person. She called us anti-choice. I'll get to that in a second. But women are not forced into relationships with men. I mean, we don't live in, some Middle Eastern Muslim, society, patriarchal dominated society that says you will marry your first cousin and you will give him 10 baby boys or whatever. Women make their choice. You can choose men of character or you can choose scoundrels. And you pretty much know how. Generally, you're looking around, you're looking at your father, your grandfather. You look for characters of inside of men that you want to be with that mimic the things that you say, this is what I want in a relationship. So you're not being forced. So why is it the responsibility of a man, I would ask this young lady, to pick who you should be with? Because given that logic, that's essentially what she's saying. Kevin, you need to pick my man for me. And then he can have responsibility. Because last time I checked, you pick your own dude. I don't think anybody, outside of a forced sexual relationship, I don't think anybody's forcing women to, you will go out at that club, meet a dude that drinks too much and has no responsibility, have unprotected sex with him, and then he's the one responsible. No, you're responsible to avoid that guy. But here's where it gets a little interesting to me. She says that if you're not pro-choice, you're anti-choice. And I find that really interesting because, as I've said many times, I believe everybody is pro-choice. I also believe everybody is pro-life. And I would say to this young lady, whatever number of years she may have in life, she wants to finish it. And if I were to put a gun to her head and say, do you choose life right now or do I pull the trigger? She would choose life. Now, just because she doesn't choose life in the womb because of whatever circumstances were that created that life does not make her non-pro-life. She's just choosing the circumstances in which she's for life. If you're a thriving, individual, she probably chooses life. If you're a ne'er-do-well, who's, bent on destruction of people in person, she might say, you know what, get rid of that fool. I know I'm that way. There are many people I go, that sucker doesn't deserve to live. Bundy, Gacy, Jeffrey Dahmer. So look, but being non-pro-choice, the antonym of that is not anti-choice, because I'm definitely pro-choice. You can choose whatever you do, but she says what we're doing on the right is we're absolving men of responsibility. Why? Because when a woman has an abortion, we're presuming she's a slut. That was her words, that women are slutty. I don't imply that. I do believe that the overwhelming majority of women who get abortions are women of ill repute. They aren't women that you go, oh, that's the person I want my son to marry. I know of a woman, my sister took me to a party. My sister said she's had 6 abortions. 6. I didn't even bother to ask by how many different guys. Now, I don't know what this young lady believes, but that to me is not the behavior of somebody who really takes the idea of life seriously. But the second part of it is what got me. She says we call women who get abortions murderers. Well, that may be an ugly word for her, but it is murder. It's pure and simple. I know when life begins, and I know if somebody sets out on taking it, that's what they're doing. Now, does it mean you're a bad person because you're a murderer? There are many murderers I respect. There are some murderers that I go, you know what? Congratulations for killing that fool. Battered women, people who've been abused in other ways and fight off their defenders or whatever. There are many murderers that are good murderers. So you don't take the word bad. It's just the word. It's a definition. But apparently what she's trying to say is old school men assume their responsibility. But the new school guys are absolving people of responsibility, and I absolutely disagree with her. I say guys like me old school guys, we make a determination of who we want to have our children with, and we have them. And then we take care of them. I'm no Ray Ray with 14 different kids by 12 different baby mamas. See, that's an irresponsible person. Now, you could say, oh, Kevin, they should have aborted those. I mean, we can go into all kinds of iterations of this, but all I'm telling you is conservative men are responsible. They choose their mates more carefully. I'm not telling you we're perfect, but we choose our mates more carefully, and our mates are more discerning for who they choose. But one thing's clear. There is no such thing as anti-choice. And if you are indeed pro-abortion, which is the real situation here, you are committing murder.
Kevin Jackson
on the Black Sphere Radio Network.
Do you owe back taxes to the IRS or state? The secret to avoiding the IRS nightmare is to seek professional representation. My friends at Security Tax Associates provide the most cost-effective and ethical representation in the industry while helping to avoid seizures, levies, and wage garnishments. Security Tax Associates is here to ensure that the appropriate steps are taken to permanently eliminate any possibility of future tax burdens once and for all. For a free, no-obligation consultation, contact Security Tax Associates, 844-779-4177. That's 844-779-4177. 844-779-4177. Or visit them at securitytaxassociates.com.